Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. This is the Essence Catrice update. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. So last January, we got a whole host of new products from Essence Catrice to update their line for Spring/Summer 2025. I've now had enough time to test everything out, so I'm coming back on here to let you know all my thoughts. There will be a lot of links in the description box down below to all of the different reviews that I've done with these products. So if you want to see swatches or see them on my face, I have done videos and dedicated blog posts with every single product you see here today. So then you can have a look at all of the close-ups as well. So definitely check out the description box if you want more information. I'm just gonna race through these category by category and let you know my thoughts. We're gonna start with base products, and the base products, we got two new primers. From each brand we got one. From Essence we got this guy, the Silky Blur Poreless Primer with niacinamide. And this on paper sounded really interesting to me, but sadly when I was trying it I found out that this is definitely one of those more like pore filling primers. It doesn't do a whole lot of pore filling, I have to say, but it is definitely aimed more so at oily skin than to someone like me who has dry skin. So that's not something that's super clear from the packaging. It is one of those silicone primers. The texture reminds me a lot of a liquefied version of the e.l.f. Putty Primer. If that's something you've tested out and you love that, then I think this may be a product you're gonna love as well. The Catrice version was the Glam in Gold, and this style packaging, a glass bottle with a gold cap, is something that Catrice has done for their primers for years. I just feel that the fluid inside it looks a little bit differently, but every single one that I've tried, like there were a couple of these in like limited edition Disney collections a couple of years ago. They also did one, I think, with the little balls inside it last year, and this time we get flecks of gold. They say it's real gold. I don't think it is. But this is supposed to be very hydrating. It is. It's a very thin, jelly-like texture. The only problem I didn't like this more is because the little gold specks it has can sometimes get into your pores. Like, most of them will disappear. Like, it's not going to look like a glitter disco ball. That's what I was afraid of with this. They disappear when you rub the product into your skin. But I definitely had like on my forehead a spot where I could see this minuscule like pinprick of gold still like sitting in one of my pores, and I had to dig it out with my nails, so it wasn't foolproof for that reason. A little bit of a faff to use. The formula feels really nice and thin and hydrating on my dry skin, so I did like it for that. But this is the kind of primer where I'm like, you know what? If I just use a bit of extra sunscreen, I'm also good to go. So this, I feel, wasn't necessarily the kind of primer where I really feel it made a difference. We had one concealer, and this is still in my Shop My Stash because this is one of my favorite products that these brands launched. It's from Catrice. It's the Instant Bright Serum Concealer. I think I bought it in another shade as well, but this is in shade 010C. That's the one that I have been using. That's a really good shade match for me. This is a really beautiful hydrating concealer. It works really well on my dry skin. It's thin enough. It's the best concealer that Catrice has come out with in recent years. A lot of the concealers that a lot of people are hyping up online from Catrice, like the HD one and whatever, the True Skin one, weren't my favorites because they were too drying for me, but this is exactly right in terms of coverage and sort of like the level of hydration I get from it. So this has been a lovely, lovely concealer indeed. That's why it's still in my Shop My Stash for April. It's the only one I'm using in an attempt to try and use this up. And then they came out with some sticks. So I have two from Catrice and one from Essence. So the Catrice one is the same product, and from Essence I just got one shade. With Catrice, sometimes when these lines launch, not all of the shades will be in stock yet, and then a shade that I think may be better for me actually came out later, so that's why I have two of these. But the Essence foundation stick, like as far as the foundation stick goes, again, my experience with foundation sticks historically hasn't been great because of my dry skin. They can really attach themselves to little patches around my nose, but this one was nice. Like, it's pretty good. It's just too yellow. I got it in shade 70. I'm not sure if that's exactly my shade. with Essence Catrice, it can be difficult to find your shade because their little consoles in store will usually only have 3 to 5 shades available, but then the range online is far bigger. So I definitely think that if I had gotten this in a slightly different shade, I may have liked it a little bit better. From a quality standpoint, this was a pretty good product. It gets the job done. It's a really nice foundation. It's not too drying on the skin. It's just these kind of formulas are never my favorite. In order for the foundation to hold its shape as a stick, it needs to have a certain level of thickness, I feel. And for my skin and the effect I want to go for when it comes to foundation, I prefer a liquid over something like this for that reason, because I go in with the absolute thinnest of thinnest layers of foundation. I'm not looking for high coverage, and I definitely feel this is more of like a medium to buildable coverage. But for me, I like something super lightweight and dewy and skin tint like, and this was just a touch too heavy for me. And I think a little bit of a disappointment, but that's because I also own the liquid version of this, is the Catrice Soft Glam Filter Stick. I got it in 020 and 010, so 010 ended up being a little bit better for me. Like 020, too dark. 010, much better. I also have 010 in the liquefied version, and that I love. I can use it as a base if I don't want to use foundation that day. I just love it that much. This was a little bit greasy feeling. I felt it didn't work well as a base under makeup. That's just the way I feel. I think if you were to use this by itself, it can be nice. It can be nice. But for me, I'm going to be layering blush and powder on top and maybe a concealer. And I felt this was a little bit slippy slidey, and I felt it kind of clogged up my pores, and it wasn't a good look. Maybe if you have a different skin type to me, this may be more successful for you. I think that because I love all the hydration I can get, that the liquid is just a bit more successful for me. I do feel that the effect it gives on the skin is very similar to the liquid, and this may be a little bit easier if you like travel a lot or if you just want to chuck it into a makeup bag. I can definitely see merit in the product. It's just that for me, again, with the way this formula has to be in order for it to be a stick, that's probably why I didn't like it all that much. But it's a good one. I think a lot of people can like this. It just wasn't right for me. I have 2 more base products for you, but one of them, I don't know where it went. I think it ended up in the declutter pile, and it's like sitting at the bottom of a huge pile of makeup. So I can't find it, but I'll pop a picture up on the screen right here. It's the Magic Shine Eraser from Catrice. And this is one of those like silicone-y kind of products that you can use under or over makeup in order to blur pores and to make things look more mattified. Someone, like, I was like very confused when I bought the product. I was like, that can be interesting to just try. And someone said, like, yeah, this was done years ago by Mally. And I was like, oh, I remember Emily Noel was always raving about this product. And so I was like, you know what? That can be something that's fun to try. I think it works better if you have oily skin. My dry skin didn't like it at all. I used it once or twice. It was really difficult to pick up. Even like rubbing your fingers into it, you really had to like scoop little bits out and warm it up on the back of your hand. And I don't mind that sometimes, but for me it was a little bit, So to me, that was like the worst product out of the entire new range. What was more successful for me was this. This is the Under Eye Brightener Powder. This is the pinky tone powder to go with the pink toned under eye brightener that Catrice already does. That's one of their best selling products, so that's not going to go anywhere soon. And they're trying to like do a Charlotte Tilbury and like continue the range, I think. So the under eye brightener was really nice. It's okay. I don't love a loose powder, but this is so small that I was like, you know what? This could be good for travel. So I've put it with my travel makeup to see if I end up using it a little bit more then. It's just that I prefer a pressed powder over a loose one any time of day, so I'm not going to reach for it a whole lot. But it was a good powder. It definitely got the job done. It wasn't overly drying, and the pinky tone was actually quite flattering. Then we're moving into blushes, highlighters, and bronzers. So I have a whole host of blushes. Essence came out with the Soft Touch Mousse blushes, and they just don't do the full range yet. So I was gonna do a video with all 4 of the shades that are listed on the website where I bought these products, which is Boozy Shop here in the Netherlands. But they don't do them yet. Like, I've put my notifications on and it's April. These products launched in January. I don't know what's up because this has happened for several of the shades that were announced initially. I'm still missing 2 of these blushes, so I can't do a dedicated video to it. I did review the shade I got first. This is Rustic Rouge, and here's what the shade looks like. It's really, really beautiful. It's a very neutrally sort of reddish tone brown, and it's very, very similar to the Fui Pudding Pots. So if you saw my review for that last year, it's one of the best products that came out of K-Beauty last year. That I think it's a good thing that Essence now does a very affordable version of it. The Fui ones are around 15 euros each, I think. These are like 3 to 4 euros, so it's a lot cheaper, but it gets the job done as well. It's a little less moussey, I feel. Like the pudding pots from Fui are a slightly thicker like a slightly thicker formula, and they pack a little bit more of a punch. The color payoff with these is quite subtle, but I also got shade Cozy Clay because I thought I was going to complete the collection so I could do that video for you guys. This is also beautiful, but the shade that goes on is closer to what you see in that little swatch than the actual top of the product. So that's something to bear in mind. This is almost too light for me, and it has a bit of a weird orangey undertone. So I didn't find this too flattering, but Rustic Rouge is really pretty. I just wish the other 2 shades already existed and I could test them out for you a little bit more. But I did review the other shade already on my blog, so if you want to see it on my cheeks. These are really lovely products. If you want to try that putty, moussey sort of formula, then this is, I think, a really affordable way to do that. And then I have the entire range here of these Blushing Charm Blush Sticks from Catrice. These are all 5 shades. They were really lovely. There were 3, let me find them, 3 that were in a matte formula. That's these 3. So a light pink, a peach tone, and this really pretty berry shade. That was my favorite of those 3. This is the coolest toned option in the entire bunch. There weren't a lot of cool tones in here, unfortunately. So if that's what you were looking for, that wasn't it. But the blush lighters were possibly my favorite. Again, like a corally peach sort of moment here, a little bit bright, vibrant. It reminds me a lot of a melon shade I tried from P. Louise. And then I have the blush lighter in Radiant Honey. And when this was in my Shop My Stash, I could not stop using this shade. It's just incredibly similar to everything I already own. So if this was a more unique shade, I would keep this in my makeup collection because it is a really, really good product. Like all 5 of these are really, really good. This is that brownie neutral mauve tone blush that I love. It's like right smack in between. It's not too warm toned. It adds color to the cheeks, but it gives a very natural flush. This has everything. It ticks all the boxes for me. It's just that I have a million mauve tone blush already. Part of me is like, maybe I should keep this. Maybe I should keep this just to hang on to one of these things because it feels a bit wasteful to get rid of all of them. But yeah, this was my favorite. Radiant Honey is the one I would recommend. And even though it's called a blush lighter, I didn't really see that much of a difference between the more highlighty shades and the matte shades. I didn't really feel there was much of a difference. This is perhaps a little dewier looking, but I feel that this works really, really well. This is a standout product from the new range. Highlighters then next. We got a little bit more from Essence than we did from Catrice. And the thing we got from Catrice is a new shade in a range they were already doing. It's the More Than Glow highlighter in 040 Absolutely Blushing Bright. So when I bought this, there was actually a different image on the website. So I thought this was going to be a baked highlighter. It was going to be one of the domed ones because that was the image that was there when I purchased it. And then a week later, it showed this thing. So I think the website had the wrong picture up. Else I probably wouldn't have bought it. I have one of these in Ultimate Platinum Gaze, which is 010. All-time favorite highlighter. It's that really nice, shiny, lit from space sort of intense highlight, and it's beautiful. This seemed to be like a rose gold sort of shade, but it's far too dark for me. If you have much deeper skin than me, you're gonna love this. It is really beautiful if you want that high shine sort of moment. But what irked me about this one, apart from it being too dark, you can see this really nice reflect here, but this is where I've been using it, at the bottom. Do you see that it looks so much darker where that instant, like that first layer is off? It's not an overspray. It's not like this doesn't shine. It looks really pretty on. It just has an incredibly deep base to it, which is why it doesn't work for me. Like the flash is beautiful, but when the light didn't hit my face, I had this dark streak where I had applied it, which wasn't a good look. So for me, this was sadly a little bit too dark. The formula and the actual product is really lovely. If this is your shade, you're gonna love it. From Essence, the product I love best from them in terms of highlighter is this, the Drop of Sunshine highlighting drops. It only comes in one shade, which is a bit iffy, but they also did this as a bronzer the year before, which I didn't like. It also only came in one shade and it made me look orange. It wasn't a good look. But the Drop of Sunshine highlighting drops, magic happens. This is so beautiful. It's this lit from within, very dewy, and because it is a liquid, it's a very thin layer, so it looks like your skin. This is beautiful by itself with either just like nothing underneath it. It can be used over foundation. It can be used under foundation. This has been a game changer for me. This is really lovely, and the shade looks really dark when you apply it to the back of my to the back of your hand, but when you sheer it out, it has the most beautiful silvery pearl to it, which makes it really cool toned. So that's why I love this one. And I feel that the shade it has when you first apply it to the back of your hand disappears. So that deeper tone isn't there once it's on my cheeks. It's beautiful. Less successful for me were the little sticks that they are doing. They have this entire range of these blush sticks, highlighter sticks, and bronzer sticks. They are the Baby Got line. The liquids come in the tube with the little doe foot in the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light one style, and then the sticks are just Baby Got, and they come in little sticks. They did the Baby Got Glaze, that's the purpley one. This is supposed to give a glass-like effect, and the Baby Got Diamond. So both of these remind me of higher end products I have. The Baby Got Glaze, dupe for Glossier's Halo Scoping Quartz. That's one of my favorite all-time highlighters. Mine expired. So I'm sort of like, am I going to be repurchasing this? This is beautiful on. If you like that sort of RMS Beauty Living Luminizer, there is like a highlighter on the skin, but there isn't much going on. This is absolutely stunning. I really do enjoy the product. I just hate the packaging on this. And this is a little bit better than the bronzer, but you don't get that much product either. Like, it's really only like this top part where the actual product is. Like, this is how much product you get, so it's not a lot of product, and it's so flimsy feeling. Like, this feels like it's going to break if you use it every single day. So that's why I'm not a huge fan of these little sticks. And the Baby Got Diamond, this has sparkle in it. And it's very similar to the Fenty Diamond Bomb highlighter. That one comes in a little compact. I have a mini of that. I love it in like the winter season. Wouldn't wear a product like this in the summertime because you get a lot more shine from the sunlight and it's going to look really sparkly on your skin. It was beautiful on. It has a very similar formula to the Baby Got Glaze. It just has added silver sparkles. So if that's what you're looking for, it can be really pretty. And I felt the effect was the same as the Fenty, as I mentioned. But I already own the Fenty, like that better. So this is not going to stay in my makeup collection. And again, it has the flimsy packaging, which I don't love. Finally, for bronzers, another standout product for me is from Catrice. It's the Melted Sun Liquid Bronzer. This is so beautiful. Look at how gray it looks in the tube. It's really beautiful going on. It's not that gray toned once you blend it out though. That may be something to look forward to. Like if you're going to buy this, it's not going to stay this gray once you blend it. I have mine in the lightest shade. This is 00510 lines. This blends out seamlessly. It's easy to use. It's that quick grab and go sort of product. This is beautiful. I really adore mine. And then the Baby Got Bronze Shimmer Bronze Stick in Golden Hour. They already did a matte version of this. and I really enjoyed it. I did it, like I use it 2 years in a row. But look at little product you get in here. Like, this is half of what the highlighter stick contains, so I'm not sure if mine is just like wrong or not, because you're gonna use more of your bronzer than of your highlighter. Like, this only fills like half of this. Like, this comes down to here. So there isn't a lot of product, which I don't love. And this doesn't really add much to my makeup collection. I already have the matte version. That shade is a little bit better for me. I think I decluttered it because it started to feel a little funky, so I wasn't sure whether it was still good to go, because I did already own it for like 2 years. So these little sticks do expire quite quickly, so if you're not planning on using them every single day, they may not be worth your money in the long run, even though they are super cheap. It's Essence. It's only like €3 for one of these little sticks. And this shade was just a little bit too orange for me. Like, if you look at that, and then it also has golden sparkle running through it. It just wasn't a good look. Is it a bad product? Not at all. This works really well. And in a pinch, or if I'm traveling, something like this would be really pretty on. It's a product I can definitely use. It's just that compared to everything else I already have in my makeup collection, this wasn't a standout. We're moving on to eyes next, and the first thing I have to show you is mascara. The brown ones I already repurchased. These are unopened though, so I can't show you the doe foot, but I've shown you those many, many times in my Shop My Stashes. These are still in there because I love them. The Lash Princess in the brown, this is the False Lash Effect in the brown, and the Glam Doll Waterproof in the brown, and they make for a really, really nice pairing. I do have to say that the shade of the Glam Doll is a little bit more reddish toned than this one is. This is closer to like a black than this. This is a bit warmer toned. This is more of like a chocolatey brown, like dark chocolate brown, and I really love it for that reason. But by itself, it can be a little bit smudgy, so I just top a little bit over this one on top, and it's a match made in heaven. Some really lovely brown mascara from both brands. Things I'm a little less satisfied with are these two things, and it's the Glam Doll Tinted Primer in Soft Black and the Lash Princess Mascara Primer. So these I've both used just on the down low to see what they would do. I don't review mascara on my channel or on my blog because I am graced with naturally curly long lashes. If I test out mascara for you, you will not know what it's going to look like if you have straight lashes. You're just not going to. So I feel it's not fair if I were to test it out, because in close-up pictures, I feel my lashes always look fine, and I literally only put on mascara, and that's all I've done. So no lash curler, no nothing. So here is the Essence one. This is a traditional lash primer where it has the little fibers to make your lashes look longer. I don't like these products because I have quite sensitive eyes, especially in the spring season. My hay fever starts acting up and my eyes get a little bit more watery than they usually are. So that's why the Lash Princess Lash Primer is not for me. And if you're a contact lens wearer, I would not recommend this. Or if you have sensitive eyes, don't do it. It has a little fibrous sort of things, and they can fall down from your lashes into your eyes. So this is not great for people like that. But if you want really long lashes, it does work. Like this, and then your black mascara over it, it works wonders. And so I thought that this, the Glam Doll in the soft black, could be really pretty because the Essence one is white. So that takes a couple of coats to cover up the whiteness of it. So I figured if it's in soft black, that's going to fix my issue. And I don't like wearing the Glam Doll Waterproof by itself on my top lashes because it kind of like lengthens things. I don't find it very volumizing at all. And I figured if I layered this first and then the Glam Doll on top, maybe I'd get a good result. But I found it didn't make that much of a difference, and I'd rather go in with a volumizing mascara instead and then using the regular Glam Doll on top. It gave me a better effect than putting this under something. And it is soft black, so it looks gray on the applicator. So if you think black mascara usually looks too harsh on you, this could be something to try. I found that by itself, it didn't do much of anything. But if you don't want something that looks too stark against your skin, then maybe this soft black shade might be a game changer for you. It's meant to go under things though. It's not supposed to be worn by itself, but it does say for extra volume and care. It's fine. I wore it by itself just to test it out to see what it would do by itself, but I feel it's no different to the regular Glam & Dolls, save for the fact that it's a softer, lighter shade. Then these things, the Jelly Jewels from Essence. These are eyeshadow toppers. They are glitters. They feel very much like the ColourPop Jelly Much eyeshadows. Like, they don't have a little protector, so I don't know how long this is going to last in my makeup collection, because here again, the product feels like the packaging is just cheap plastic. It's very thin. I don't think this is going to protect the product all that well, but they're beautiful. I used them in my first impression video, and I wore that eye look for the rest of the day. These didn't crease, these didn't budge, there was no glitter particles falling down my face. They are jelly shadows that go on wet, dry down, and then don't move until you remove them with eye makeup remover. These are genius. They come in this little white shade and this little bit of a silvery shade. It's really beautiful on the lids. Just do your eyeshadow as you normally would. Dab a little bit of this in the middle of your lid and you have an instant, really beautiful, very sparkly look without much effort, and it doesn't budge. And you don't have to faff around with glitter glues or anything like that. This product does it all in one go. It's just that it's one of those things where I'm like, how long is this going to last? Because I don't think these tubs are going to protect it enough for it to last like longer than a couple of months. But we'll see how that goes, because I did put these into my makeup collection because they are so much fun. For parties and stuff, I think this is going to be wonderful, especially because it doesn't budge. Like, you can go out dancing in these things and it won't go anywhere. It really, like, sweat proof, etc. So if you have a festival lined up this summer, those may be things to look into. So speaking of fun festival kind of makeup, Catrice has extended their Space Glam range with some eyeshadows and an eyeliner. There are other shades in the eyeshadow. I just bought one to test it out. This is the shade Stardust, and it's this really pretty, like, periwinkle. Ooh, now that we don't have the focus, you can see the shade shifting a little bit more. So it's a periwinkle grayish tone with a flash of lavender pink. It's really beautiful. It's a pretty thin formula. It definitely needs layering with a finger in order for this to be like applied full on. And I wore this little combo in a recent video. So if you go back to the videos that I posted last week, you'll see me wearing this. And I used the Space Glam eyeliner. What shade is this? Doesn't say. Moonstone Metallic. I think this only comes in one shade, and it's this beautiful silver. And yes, it applies like this silver. So you get what it looks like in the tube. The only downside to the eyeliner is that there is quite a lot of product on the doe foot, but also with this, it went on, it dries down, it doesn't budge, it's insanely sparkly. Like, it's that pop of silver along my lash line, that was just this. One layer, no nothing, no cracking. Sometimes with liquid liners like this, because I have some texture in my lids, it can sometimes like crack and like look a little bit bumpy throughout the day. Didn't do it. And very often with liquid liners like this, because I have hooded eyes, it will stamp up here. That's why I never do liquid or gel liner. I always use eyeshadow for my eyeliner. But this didn't do that either. It didn't stamp. It was smudge proof. It stayed on. Can we get this in like black, brown, purple, green, and blue, please? It doesn't even have to be a metallic. But this formula, Catrice, you're on to something, because this thing is beautiful. And finally, in eyes, we have eyeshadow palettes, and these are the eyeshadow palettes that Catrice came out with. We got one new of this like line. They've been doing this for a few years. I reviewed the initial 4 palettes that they did in a dedicated video, and I've just been, whenever the color story looks interesting to me, I've been roping them into my first impression videos. We got a soft peony that I really enjoyed last year, and now they're doing the dark cocoa. And this is pretty. I actually wanted to use it again, so I did a look with it for my Palettes Revisited series this month. because I do really enjoy the look of this. Is this a very unique color story though? No. And where the early ones in this line got these really dark patches from where your fingers or brushes had touched them, I feel they must have improved this formula, because save for this darker shade, it doesn't seem to be happening to any of them. Like, none of these are changing color. It looks really pretty. This is a little bit of like a taupey brown shade, which of course we know we love. These are soft though. They are softer, almost more satiny kind of shades. Like, it looks very sparkly and metallic when you first buy them, but I don't feel that that's how the shade goes on. It's more like softer, everyday. This reminds me a lot of like K-Beauty and what they usually have to offer in their palettes, apart from the pressed glitters that they sometimes put in those palettes, but it has that sort of vibe to it. So if you want something easy, throw on, just something you can wear on a day-to-day basis, and that's what you're looking for, this can be beautiful. But, you know, a brown neutral palette is not revolutionary by itself. It's nice though. It's good quality. And finally, we got the Tiny Treasures. I did a dedicated video with these at the end of February. So if you want to see these going onto my eyes, then you can. The best one of the three is the warm toned one, Heated Up 030. This was my favorite look I did. This performed the best. The other two were a little bit patchy, and I don't really get the shades I want. The one I wanted to love was Wild Berry. And this is beautiful, but it didn't really come together. The pinks don't really match very well in this, so that was a bit of a shame. And then finally, the neutrally one, like, this is just okay. Everyday Essentials. This is fine. I just didn't love the mattes in here and the way they applied. Like, if you want to go for a brown tone palette from Catrice that's new, the Dark Cocoa is better, I feel, than this one is. And then we just have a bunch of lip products left, which I'm going to breeze through because I've reviewed all of these for you in the past couple of months. So let me get to it. In the first impression video with Catrice, I used their Lip Artists. These are a lip liner on one side with a lipstick on the other. And you will see in that first impression video, if you go watch it, a lot of these shades didn't really go together very well, and they were very warm toned. Like, the shades, like the little bands of the shades on the actual stick doesn't really correspond to what you get in here. And there are 4 shades, but essentially they all do the same thing on my lips anyway, so that was unsuccessful. My then least favorite thing they did was also by Catrice, and it's the Melt and Plump lip plumpers, more so for the shades. The Melt and Shine were really, really pretty, but again, I feel like with the new stuff that they've now done, even the Melt and Shine already feels like it's a bit last year, and they're now doing different formulas that are better than that even. This is the Melt and Shine formula, but with a lip plumping effect. It has a bit of a soft, tingling feeling. I didn't find the plumping effect to be that noticeable, and here there were, again, no shades that worked for my complexion, at least I felt. So that's why these shades I didn't love. And then all the other things they did, I really enjoyed. Like, there were no duds here all that much. We got, from both Essence and Catrice, we got some like lip balm, like tinted lip balm kind of products. And these are really, really good. I decided to only keep the clear one of the Super Peptide from Essence. Part of me wants to keep like the mauve tone one because who else am I? But I was like, you know what? I think it's fine. Like, the formula of these are all the same. The shades, once on the lips, whether I was wearing the clear or whether I was wearing any of the colors, it didn't make a whole lot of difference, I find. But this is a really thick formula. I actually wore the Super Peptide, the clear one, by itself already because I wasn't wearing much makeup that day, and I just needed something to touch up throughout the day, and it was lovely. So once my current lip balm runs out, I will probably use this as lip balm at the start of my makeup routine and not really use it for wearing outside, but it's a lovely product if you're looking for something really rich. And then the Butter Dripping Gloss Lip Balms from Catrice are really lovely. There are 5 shades. I'm holding up 3 shades I discarded. I put 2 of them in my makeup collection, and this is great for a glossy lip balm with a little bit of color. These did show up distinctly on my lips, a little bit more so than the Essence one I find, and these are more They have more of a cocoa buttery sort of feel to them once they go onto the lips. So they feel very nourishing. These are scented though. And each one, like depending on the name, each one will have a slightly different scent. So if you don't like scents like toffee, caramel, fake cherries, that sort of thing, you probably won't like these because they can be a little bit strong. I find it disappears really easily though. Like even if you put these on, like within 30 seconds it has disappeared. So it's not as if you're gonna smell it all day. It's not that case. But these were really lovely. That's why I kept 2. And then from Essence, we got the Glossy Glaze High Shine lipsticks. These were nice. The shades weren't always quite right for me, so I kept one of them in my makeup collection. And I think I kept the red one because that was my favorite of the 4. Feels quite cheap when it comes to the packaging, but the actual product was really nice. It's, again, sort of like a lipstick, lip balm hybrid kind of product with a lot of shine, and especially the red had a beautiful color, so I knew I wanted to keep that one. The final review I did for you, because again, I was trying to hold off for like Catrice coming out with an additional shade. So I tested out 7 instead of 8 of the glassy lip tints. It's the Glass-like Dewy lip tint. The name is a bit meh, but I kept 3 out of the shades I tested because I just like them so much. These are essentially Catrice's version of a K-Beauty lip stain, but without the staining. So if you want K-Beauty but you don't want the staining effect, this can be nice. I really enjoyed wearing them. I did a bit of a wear test with them. They last for a good 4 to 5 hours. After lunch, you do need to touch them up. There were some pretty shades in here, and that's why I kept 3 of them. And surprise to me, because I wasn't sure I was gonna like them, because I'm usually not a huge fan of shimmering glosses. Again, there were 4 shades in the Diamond Glaze lip glosses. I kept 2 of them, the 2 cool tone ones. The lavender one was actually lavender. It's amazing. And these were the 2 I was like, I don't think I'll get a lot of use out of it. These have a bit of a shift to them. They're incredibly fun, and they were really beautiful as well on a really lovely, rich, glossy formula. Catrice can do a good gloss, so I know that this was nice. And we're currently in the realm of like lip combos, so doing lip liner and then a lipstick on top and a nice shiny gloss. So if that's what you're looking for and you don't want it to break the bank, this can help you to be on trend without having to spend a whole lot of money. These are really fun. So those are all of the products I wanted to chat about with you today. I hope this video was helpful, that if you were looking for my thoughts on all of these new products, that you now have the full lowdown. Some products were not right for me because of shades, but I feel formula-wise, everything here was on point. It didn't always go with my skin type or skin tone, but it definitely is a product where I was like, you know, if you were to purchase that because the product made you go like, ooh, that looks like something might work for me, you wouldn't be disappointed with most of these. The only thing where I'm like, and that's why it's already decluttered and it wasn't shown in the video, is the Magic Shine Eraser. That's the only thing where I'm like, what were they thinking? Which I sometimes have this with Essence and Catrice, where a lot of the things they do feel incredibly gimmicky. But I didn't feel that way this time around. They did some really nice, solid things that I think a lot of people can enjoy. If you were to buy any of these products and because you thought they were nice for you, I think you would not really be disappointed with them. So do with that what you wish. I hope this video was informative and that you got something out of it. Please remember that all of the reviews are linked in the description box down below. So if you want to see swatches and what these things look like, you can find it over there. And then I really hope you have a great day today. Thumbs up the video if you liked it. Subscribe, and then I hope to see you again very, very soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.